Hello, dear students. I'm speaking. My name is Alejandro Mendoza. I'm your teacher for this class of foreign trade. We are going to start with our video class of Colombian legislation, and for this, we are going to see and check the new customs statement. So, let's start with our presentation. Okay. Well, the title of conference is Colombian Legislation, New Customs Statute. The speaker name is your teacher, Alejandro de Mendoza, and from today is 9 of March of 2018. And the objective of this video class is to make known the keys of the new customs statute in order to enter a greater context compared to what currently governs foreign trade in Colombia. For this, we will be based on the five keys that apply in order to make a better import or export process. Okay, so in order that you can understand better, we are going to see the new customs statute that is applying for the import and export process and five keys in order to see what's the best option and what are the strategies that we have to implement in our import or expo process. So the day order is basic concepts, which is the customs statute, on which is based and which seeks. Also, we are going to see the five keys of the new customs statute. We are going to see an infogram, and we are going to see the five keys that are harmonization and international standards, a stronger yan, management of the risk, logistics, the key, and finally the technological modernization. Then we are going to see the conclusions and the bibliography in order to see what documents were checked to make this presentation. I One thing that is important is that this video class is going to be very soft in order that you can understand, because I think that the last one was very tough in language for you. So I made a video class in order that you can understand better and assimilate all the concepts in a better way. So let's start. Which is the Customs Statute, the standard that harmonizes the procedures of operations with international standards and allows employers to reduce time and costs. Okay, what this mean for you? The Customs Statute is a document that made the government and DIAN in order that you in order to facilitate the process of making impo or expo process. What this mean? This mean that the last document that were implemented here in Colombia for all the clearance process and customs um, transport from Colombia to other countries and from other countries to Colombia were too old, and that's why the government and the uh, thought to make a better implementation of the rules that govern this country in order to see a better solution to make all the clearance process and all the distribution and logistics process um, to bring products or services from other countries to Colombia and vice versa. So the new statutes contains more than 670 articles which seeks to streamline and improve the process of export and import of products and supplies. Which are the benefits that you can acquire in order if you see and study the customs statute? First, the risk management system. What is this? What is this for you? If you read the document and make an implementation of the same, you are going to be aware of all the cautions that you have in order to make an implementation of the impo or expo process. Okay? So, also, the improvement of foreign trade logistics. These have to be with all the tariff codes that you have to check when you make an import process or an expo. You have to place the tariff codes that are established on the Customs Statute in order to check that everything is okay and pay less taxes. Also, facilitate and reduce the costs of customs formalization. Okay, that's what I was telling you regarding the tariff codes and the taxes. Also, the options for warranties that cover the obligations are extended. This means that if you don't have any money and you made an importation process and is in customs clearance here in Colombia, you can have an extra time in order to make or to pay the taxes that you have to pay in order to make the clearance process of the products that you are entering into the country. And also the inspection, it's going to be faster, and also it's going to give you more advantages in order that you can make these processes. So the next topic is on which the customs statute is based. Okay, so for this, the customs statute is based first in make regulations of customs and make following on the free trade agreements with dozens of countries. Okay, so for this, you if you check all the study material, you are going to find, and if you check the last video class, you are going to be aware of all the trade agreements that you have, that Colombia have with other countries. Okay, so for that, you can be aware that this document is going to give you an idea of customs regulations and make the following of the signing of each free trade agreement that has been made with each country. Also, facilitate science expeditious procedures are incorporated and in accordance with the new realities of foreign trade. What it means that this means that um, all the trend that that we are having in this moment is to make all the import process uh, between the social media and also between the communications with other countries by phone or by cellular. So, what want this customs statute? What it wants is to make an easy clearance process of the products that you are bringing through the country. So that's why procedures are incorporated in accordance with the new realities of foreign trade. And finally, the objective of controlling aims to strengthen the institutional framework and provide new tools to both the AN and Ministry of Commerce to prevent violations and prevent the use of foreign trade in illicit activities. So, for that, the objective of making control of all the products that are entering into the country and no make violations of the laws established in order to the foreign trade agreements and the laws that make regulation of the clearance process for each product that you are bringing. Okay, so that's why the customs statute is based. So the objective is to make regulations, give facilities in order to make all the procedures regarding the import or expo process, and finally make the patchwork killed that makes all the customs regulations and free trade agreements in order to give advantages regarding the import or export process. So, searching of the customs statute. What seeks? In this case, it seeks to give order to the system of foreign trade in the country, in this case, Colombia, modernizing some rules that have become obsolete and incorporating many that were used outside the document. Okay, so what seeks really the customs statute is to give an organization of the document that were in the past, and also give a new concept regarding the foreign trade and make new laws in order to make a better impo or expo process. What are the keys to the Customs Statute, the new one? Okay, so for that I made an infogram in order that you can see a better understanding of the five keys. The keys are harmonization, as strong as the an, a risk management, and the key logistics process, and finally the technological modernization. Okay, for the first one, that means harmonization. The new statute incorporates the principles of the World Customs Organization, the recommendation of the Andean Community, and those of the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. What it means? It means that these documents incorporates all the principles that the world of clearance of customs has implemented in their countries, and also gives you recommendations of the Andean community, remember the free trade agreements, and those of the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, in order that you can have advantages to make an impo or expo process. Following of the harmonization key is as strong as the an. What it means that the statute is synchronized with the law smuggling to give more teeth to the and criminal justice, which can now punish more severely who offenders. What it means that if you bring a shipment for other country and you not pay taxes, you are going to be punished more effectively and more severely. So this gives you an advantage to make things good in order to bring an import of products from other country. Also, you have the risk management. The risk management is the new backbone of the Customs Statute, and in this sense, one of the main values that govern the relations between the state and the individuals in the foreign trade, that has to do with confidence. What it means that just the government can see your shipment, your products, okay? Not anyone, just your shipper and you and the government, and in this and the government state, that in this case is going to be the DIAN, Dirección de Impuestos and Aduanas Nacionales, and just that. So the risk is going to be lower in order that you can make an import or an export process. The key logistic process, okay, it contemplates that the foreign trade system will work with state of the art technology. Do you know what it means, the state of the art? The state of the art means the state when you can make um, a better precision process for an import or an expo process. The state of the art tells you how to make an import or an expo process in order that you make this one really good, and take advantages if you in the case that you are doing it. So this also includes scanners for non-instructive instructive revisions. So the shipment or the cargo or the products that you are bringing cannot be damaged in the inspections. Also, the shorter terms of nationalization of goods, and in this way, reality the proposal to coordinate simultaneous inspections with authorities of ICA, INVIMA, and JAN. What it means that? It means that for big organizations or small organizations, the time of the inspections is going to be reduced. So this gives you an effective process of supply in the clearance area of foreign trade, and this gives you the advantage to have your products more fast, and also you can make the distribution of them faster. So that's why the key is the logistics process is going to be more effective, and also it's going to give you um, better times of clearance process. And finally, you will going to have technological modernization that consists in making an administration of the new procedure, of the new procedures, with a more platform, with a very robust platform. What it means? It means that this platform is going to have better products, efficiently, better products, more codes, more tariff codes, so you can make an import process with paying less taxes, and also all is going to be implemented by the Muisca software. Maybe you know it if you work in organizations of trade, or a clearance, or maybe you work in a clearance agent, you must know something about the software Muisca. Is the platform that is used in this moment for all the process of impo and for all the clearance of products here in Colombia. This is going to be this is going to be implemented, in Colombia with a more strongest platform, in order that your shipment and your products be more effectively in the clearance process regarding times. So with this, here also you have a customs presentations of how does customs work. If you I place you the link on the on the on the on the video class here in the field. Also, you have two questions. One is, do you think the five keys are useful? And the second one is, do you think the customs study apply for this topic? If you want, you can answer. I will appreciate, in order to check that this topic makes reference to the math that we are checking. I think yes, but okay, is your response. And you can check the video. It says all the customs. Düsseldorf. Okay, so This video gives you an explanation. Dusseldorf is in Germany, so but when I checked this video, I thought that it also gives the explanation of here in Colombia, how it works, the clearance process. Is a basic concept that we check here in this video, but it gives you a more specific explanation of what we are making here with this mat. So uh, regarding all the topics, the conclusions that we can bring from this video class is, first of all, we can conclude that the new customs statute seeks to facilitate the import or and export processes between Colombia and other countries. Okay, as I was telling you, to the simple fact of only checking with the commercial invoice where the merchandise comes from. This is a very specific and very important thing. Uh, The, 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 the customs statute searches to make a facility of the import or export process, and for that, you can check with only the commercial invoice. You can make the clearance process. Okay, you don't need any more. And that's why the customs statute gives you an advantage in times. Also, the technological infrastructure will make things much easier. As you may know, it's we are going to we are making an implementation here in Colombia of the Muisca software with a very stronger platform. So the streamline to process of nationalization from 3 days to one, it's a very effective logistics process, and it's going to give you an advantage of times. Also, and finally, it's necessary to have knowledge of the 5 keys indicated on this video course, since these are the success of foreign trade process. Okay, the 5 keys that I teach you in the infogram and on the video. So with that, as bibliography, we can check the web page of portfolio, the magazine. I place you here the link, and also you can check the databases of virtual of the university, and give a better knowledge of that. Have an excellent day, dear students. Any questions or something like that, you can just ask. Have an excellent day. Bye bye.